Hello, everyone. You know what? Yes, you made it to Friday. How about that? Boom, you did it all the way to Friday. We're here at the end of week 72, 73. At the end of week 72, 73. How are you today? It is great to have you here. We are grateful for you. Yes, you. Tell us what's going on in your world. Tell us what's happening in your world. Hello, Adele and Dazzle are here. You know what? That means Dazzle, it is treat time. Tell us about your day, everybody. What are you grateful for this Friday night? Boom. Can't believe it. We're here. We are here Friday night. Barb is here in Pittsburgh. How are you, Barb? What are you grateful for this week? Tell us about it. Tell us about it, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you. Lots of great stuff tonight. We always got great stuff. We got the great stuff. We got the great stuff. What is great in your world? Yeah. We had a busy Friday. We were busy. I like that. I do like a busy Friday. I do like me a busy Friday. Is that a thing? Is that a correct statement? I do like me a busy Friday. That sounds like proper English, doesn't it? That sounds like proper English. How did the football game go yesterday? Dallas versus the Steelers, Barb. Are you the preseason game yesterday? Looked like we were home in Pittsburgh. From the little bit of it I saw, we got a lot of Dallas in our house. So Dallas is one of our teams. So I forget. I think Pittsburgh won. I think Dallas got creamed, but not positive of that. Not positive. The preseason games aren't as fun. So. But it is another sign of normalcy. Crowds in stadiums, people gathering, football coming back. Football coming back. It is these are signs of good things to come. Signs of good things to come is what I call it. Let's get started this Friday night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. The Good Morning, Good Night book is how we start this program every night, and this night is no different. Tonight we are on page 92. Oh, this is a tough one. Good morning. I'm engaging in a complicated handshake. I can't do it, folks. I can't do it. But it's a complicated handshake that interests us both. Oh, worth it. Go get them. Hey, Kitty, how are you? What are you grateful for this Friday night? Friday night, Kitty, you made it all the way. You've all made it. Another week in the books, almost. We're just got another day to go. But, we're at the end of week 72, 73. We're just cruising through the week. Cruising. Yes, we are. Hey, Florida Angie, it is great to have you here tonight. Great to have you here. How are things in Florida? It is great to have you live. Oh, let me get started tonight. I got a lot for you tonight. I got a lot to cover. Our quote from Simon tonight is, companies that claim to be the best rarely are the best. Companies that strive to be better are almost always better. Yes, focus on progress, not perfection. Think about that for a second. Companies that claim to be the best are rarely the best. Companies that strive to be better are almost always better. Almost always better. Oh, Kitty, I'm sorry about the employee turning in notice, but that is an opportunity. That is an opportunity. That is an opportunity to fill that with greatness. I'm sorry to hear that, but it is an opportunity. Um, it was nice. We had a staff meeting at one of our stores tonight, and we weren't there. Neither one of us was there. That was a wonderful thing. And I am thrilled to hear you had a great day of sales. Keep on sending them, like the weather, my way. Although next week looks hot. I actually caught some of the weather today, and it looks hot here next week. It's been such a beautiful week of low humidity and everything, and you can feel the humidity picking back up. You can feel the humidity picking back up. Ouch, down to 3 as of the 17th. You can fill it, Kitty. We will get back to hiring, but you can do this. You can do this. You can find greatness. We are finding great talent. We are bringing on great people. Everybody's got a weakness. I mean, one of our new ones who's doing phenomenal can't fill out her direct deposit correctly. Partly our own fault for not making her get the bank form filled out with it. But that was fun. A fun part of my day, chasing down why she didn't get paid and then figuring out a way to get her some money so that she was happy for something that was her fault. But hey, good employees. We're also finding some from Yankee Candle lately, which is, I know, a Northeast company, but it's nationwide. We've gotten some good hires from there lately. And you're about to find, and I'm torn on this. I mean, I didn't mean tonight to get into a hiring thing, but I'm torn on this. We're starting to get applicants from companies that are firing them because they are not vaccinated. And I don't know where I am on that. I don't know. I am for free choice. You have to live with the consequences. But if you get COVID and bring COVID into my workplace, that can affect my business and all your coworkers. And so I'm torn on that. And granted, any one of us can get COVID. Even if you're vaccinated, but it is less than 1% of those that are vaccinated. I mean, the news media makes it sound much worse. And actually, I have a stat on that. So, my BFF is at the Olympics right now. My BFF is at the Olympics and has been instrumental in making sure that you can watch whatever you want from the Olympics. Is my friend, and his team are instrumental in that. I like to give him credit. There would be no Olympic coverage without him. Okay, there would be nothing. We would see nothing without him. Okay, it helps his ego. And he's great, and the whole team of people that he works with over there are amazing. But coming out of the Olympics today, he sent me this stat today, that at the Olympics, they have conducted more than 500,000 COVID tests of those that have something to do with the Olympics, including him. Okay, including him. They have conducted more than 500,000 COVID tests so far. And the positivity rate, okay, while the positive cases have made the news, okay, this is what you hear on the news. Negative cells. Don't forget what I talked about the other day with why CNN didn't want me on air is because I wasn't going to be negative enough for them. But the positivity rate on over 500,000 tests done of people that are in the Olympic bubble, that are actually in the Olympic bubble, athletes, contractors, food service workers, janitors, hotel clerks, whatever, all these people, over 500,000 tests have been done, and the positivity rate is less than 0.02%. Less than 0.02% among all those people, vaccinated, unvaccinated, everything. And, that's pretty good. We can't go through the winter without the common cold being less than 0.02% if we tested people. So, we're going to get to that level. So that's sort of my yin yang with do we pick up any of these people that we know are getting fired because they are not vaccinated? Yeah, so that's where I am with it, Kitty. I mean, I appreciate that interview of the person that wasn't vaccinated, and it's a legitimate concern. But with all the people we interact with every day, it's not. I don't think it's the end all be all. It's not the end all. Overall, this is under control in this country, much better than it has been, and so I'm sort of. I am not putting it as a deal breaker right now. I'm not putting it as a deal breaker. I don't want my whole staff to be not vaccinated. But if we can continue to hover around in the 70% range as a company, I would feel good about it. I am concerned about my one location that is heavily not. But we would deal with that. If you think of all the things that are thrown at you, if you think of all the things in business that are thrown at you, okay, if we had to deal with 10 days at a location, figuring out how to cover it, figuring out how to work on that and everything else, it would be inconvenient. It would be inconvenient, but it would become a footnote in your story. It would become a footnote in your story. And it can still technically happen even if they're vaccinated. So just a lot to consider. The cases of ones that are getting it right now that aren't vaccinated really is driving people to get vaccinated. Vaccinations are up and trending upward, which is good. So there's a lot of good things going on, and that's where I'll leave that for tonight. I will leave that there, and you decide. We are broadcasting tonight on both Facebook and YouTube. You got something? You got a problem with Facebook or anything? Hop right on over to YouTube. Cassandra threw the link up there in the comments. It is Friday night, and that brings us back to Friday Night Trivia. Woo! Friday Night Trivia. Are you ready for Friday Night Trivia? Hang on a second. That's last. That's last week. Hang on a second. I don't remember what the answer is. Okay, so again, of these, one of these stories is fake. The other three stories I'm going to read you are 100% true. Which one is the fake story? Story number one, Oscar Mayer will give away 10,000 dog coins in one hot dog pack. Story number two, Kylie Cosmetics, that's Kylie Jenner, is packaging lip gloss in faux syringes for a Swipe the Vax campaign. LaGuardia Airport's $28 beer caused an audit of its food and drink prices. Or IKEA will release a meatball-scented candle. So one of those is fake. The other three are real. Will Oscar Mayer give away 10,000 dog coins in one hot dog pack? Will Kylie Cosmetics package its lip gloss in faux syringes for a Swipe the Vax campaign? Does LaGuardia Airport charge $28 for beer, which caused an audit of its food and drink prices? And has IKEA released a meatball-scented candle? Which one of those stories is fake? We'll come back to that. Our friends at the National Retail Federation have asked for our help again. They've come to us. They've come to you. and ask for their help again. So I'm going to explain what they're asking you to advocate for. So the Federal Reserve is hearing comments and working on credit card rates and access to credit card processing. So let me back up for a step here. So it has become greatly apparent during this pandemic that more transactions went to credit cards as the shift for buy online, pick up in store, ordering takeout, all these things generated more credit card transactions. That's just a fact. As we've reopened, we have seen a return to cash. A lot of us have seen cash get used in our stores at a decent rate. We continue to see that. But the reality is, as a nation as a whole, credit card volume has picked up. And that's an increased cost to business on so many levels. Okay? And one of the things that you don't have with that is options. Okay? You don't have the option to say it would be cheaper to run this card over this banking network, and it would be cheaper to run that card over another banking network. And you don't have the option of doing that. Some of you that are old enough to remember when long distance was expensive, long distance calling was expensive, will remember lowest cost routing. LCR is what is the initial. But a lot of times you would dial this extra code to charge a different long distance number. Maybe if you were calling from Massachusetts to Florida, you would use one code and charge your AT&T account. And if you were calling from Massachusetts to California, you might use a different code and charge your MCI or your Sprint account or a different account. It was lowest cost routing, but you were in control as the consumer of where this was going. Okay? And that's sort of what is being argued should be brought to credit cards. What is it being argued is that the Federal Reserve Bank can actually make a ruling that would allow you to have at least two networks available for every card transaction, that you as a merchant would have choice, okay, that it wouldn't just be one choice, okay, that you're locked into. And that's incredibly important for driving down costs. And so the National Retail Federation is asking for our advocacy on this and asking us to tell Jerome Powell and all the folks at the Federal Reserve, hey, this matters to us. Having more than one choice to be able to run our credit cards so that our computers can be smart and decide how to route cards to the cheapest possible option is really important to retailers to help control our costs. And so there will be a link posted to the NARTS Facebook group within the hour, okay, that will let you click through and tell Jerome Powell this matters to you. It will take you less than a minute to complete, but could have a lasting impact on the operations of your business and so many small businesses across America. This is huge. I mean, I've even had this conversation with the decision makers at Walmart, okay, and they know how big it is. Okay, it is big retailers, small retailers. It affects everybody having this choice, and you don't have this choice now. So please take the time to do it. It will take you less than a minute to tell Jerome Powell. They really want to hear from small businesses. The big guys like Walmart talking about it isn't getting it done because nobody feels bad for Walmart, okay? Nobody feels bad for Walmart. But they do feel bad for you. So telling them this matters to you is a big deal. So take a minute and do that. The link will be up at narts.org, the Narts private Facebook page within the hour. It'll be over on narts.org/resale strong by noon tomorrow. We got about a week to get this done and get this information to the Fed. And it's so important. Hey, Rose, glad you were able to check in with us here tonight. I know that's a long day for you. That's a long day, but I hope it was a good day. I hope it was ringing the sales. While I am talking credit cards, this is a separate issue with credit cards that is coming to the forefront. So the one issue with advocacy, and I don't want to confuse these two issues. I'm thrilled to hear it was a great day, Rose. Thrilled, yay! I don't want to confuse these two issues, but these are two very important issues. So the one issue is about access to run the credit card the cheapest way possible. And that is what the link is going to tell the Federal Reserve. When you click on that link, you are telling Jerome Powell, okay, that it matters to your small business. The other issue that is coming up in credit cards and that is starting to work its way through Congress is a vendor allowance, okay? And why would you need a vendor allowance for credit cards? In the same way that credit card usage has ticked up because of the pandemic, what has been realized, okay, is that you are paying a credit card fee, okay? You are paying a fee to collect the government's money, okay? You are paying a fee to collect sales tax. And so, that can add up really quick for a store. That you're talking $200, $300 for every $10,000 in sales tax. It adds up. It adds up. It doesn't, if I gave you an extra $200, you would take it. If I dropped an extra $200, shoot, if I dropped a $100 bill in my kitchen, there would be fights all over it. Okay. But if I handed out $100 bills here and said, have it, but that's what you're doing. You're paying for the government's tax collection, okay? And so there is a push to allow for a vendor allowance because all these businesses across the country, all these small businesses that have pivoted to buy online, pick up in store, who have pivoted to takeout, who have pivoted and changed and reformed their business, are taking on this extra cost to collect sales tax for the government, okay, of your state. And so there is a push now to allow for an allowance, okay, where the government will force states to rebate or discount the amount you have to pay them because of the credit card fees you're paying on that. So, two different issues. One's immediate, that you click on that link and tell Jerome Powell that you want to be able to process over multiple networks to find the lowest cost to run any card. And the other issue I am working on and I am following closely efforts to allow for that vendor allowance for sales tax, to get you rebated on sales tax. It is messed up. I mean, but it wasn't back in the day when most of the transactions were cash, it didn't matter as much. Okay? But now it is hitting a critical point where it does matter, okay? And there's enough people and enough small businesses, and margins are getting squeezed. And again, margins are getting squeezed partly because of inflation and partly because small businesses are the last ones to raise prices. The big guys do it all the time. They change prices like that, okay? But you, the little guy, even though I've talked about raising prices, we're the slowest to do it. We are the slowest to do it. So know that. All right. We had guesses up for our trivia. Although I think Adele said my trivia is impossible. Oh, Kitty guessed number 3. Okay. So tonight's trivia, for those of you, again, is one of these stories is fake. Oscar Mayer will give away 10,000 dog coin in one hot dog pack. Kylie Cosmetics is packaging lip gloss in faux syringes for a Swipe the Vax campaign. LaGuardia's $28 beer caused an audit of its food and drink prices at LaGuardia Airport, or IKEA will release a meatball scented candle. And let's see. Right, gas stations are raising prices, although I usually don't look at gas as a relative thing for inflation. But Kitty guessed number 3. Kitty, you're ruining your record. You're ruining your record. No, it's true. Beer at LaGuardia Airport. Okay, those Blue Mountains. Those Blue Mountains were $28. $28 for a beer. And in their defense, okay, of the restaurant group that runs the restaurants they tried to defend the $28, and they're like, but it's for 23 ounces. It's 23 ounces of beer. It's a large one. It's 23 ounces. They did find, and granted, that was for Sam Summer. So they also viewed it as a premium beer. It's premium. It's Sam Summer. But after the audit, they found it should have only been just under $19 for the beer, not $28. Just under $19 for a beer. And I never understood. I've done a lot of traveling, and I've never understood the all-day drinking in the airport. You can you go to the airport, and like Chicago. I mean, I've sat in Chicago airport forever, and they're drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I'm not paying that for a beer. But the hard thing is, Rose, most people don't realize it till they get the bill. Most people aren't looking at the sign of how much it costs. They're like, oh, I'll take a Coors Light, or I'll take a Sam Adams or something. You don't realize it till you get the bill. And that's what started all this. No, Oscar Mayer is giving away $10,000 in a Dogcoin. In Dogcoin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that, Dogecoin, Dogcoin, in one hot dog pack. They're actually auctioning that pack off for charity. So I'll give them credit for that they are auctioning that pack off for charity. Its current price is in the $3,000 range, is what they're doing with that. And I think I saw another choice. Diane said 1 or 2. It is number 2. Number 2 is our fake story. The Jenners. Kylie Jenner is not packaging lip gloss and faux syringes with a Swipe the Vax campaign. But IKEA is releasing a meatball scented candle. IKEA is, releasing a meatball scented candle. It's been a while since I've flown through LaGuardia or any of the New York airports. So, most of the time I drive than deal with those. And quite honestly, with everything that's going on with flying right now and all the horror stories I am hearing of people flying, I would much rather drive than fly just about anywhere. When you think the Jenners, okay, I mean, that sounded just like the way they would capitalize on it. Either that or they were giving shots in their butt or something. I don't know. I mean, they're just nuts. I can't do the Jenners. But there you go. I mean, that is what makes this trivia fun. I have last week's. I'll do over the weekend. I'll do last week's. You get a double dose of trivia this weekend. I will do last week's. But I looked at last week's before I came on, and I'm like, hang on, I think it's that one that's fake. I'd have to go look. A meatball scented IKEA candle. That's what they're known for, Rose. The IKEA meatball candles. Rebecca had me looking at IKEA's site the other day. She's like, you want to go to IKEA? And I'm like, I was looking at a new desk for myself. That That is correct, Adele. Anything goes with the Kardashians. But I was looking at adjustable standing desks, electric adjustable standing desks, and she had me looking at IKEA. She loves a trip to IKEA, to walk through IKEA. But I'm with you, Rose. I do not want the IKEA candle smelling throughout my house. I'll make a trip to IKEA. I'll take a road trip. Rebecca likes it because there's a restaurant she likes to go eat at near IKEA, and there's a ice cream place she likes. So she's always down with a trip to IKEA. I need a desk I can jump on. Well, the sad thing is I saw a good desk at Costco, an adjustable desk, and I liked it, but what I really didn't want to do is I didn't want to have to change, redo my desk is what made me say no. It wasn't the cost of it. It wasn't anything. It was like, I know I need to change my desk area and redo it. And I just didn't want to have to redo it, move all the screens and move everything to adjust it. But I need to do it. Maybe Rebecca and I will take a trip this weekend or next weekend or something. We'll take a road trip to IKEA. Go down the Connecticut shore. What else am I talking about tonight? I talked about that. Just real quick on government stuff. Our friends at the SBA have opened their own PPP forgiveness portal. If you have not done your PPP forgiveness yet, or you've had problems getting it done with your bank, about 900 banks are participating. The banks have to opt in and allow you. Yes, well, there was the time Sue alleges that I was jumping on a table. There was the time Sue alleges seeing me jumping on a table. I don't know that Patty would have ever caught me. But the SBA has opened their direct loan forgiveness portal. I'm still recommending, if you can go through your bank, to go through your bank. But if you are having problems, they have opened that. Your bank has to have opted in. Your bank has to have opted in to that. To allow for that. But it is available. And I do want you to apply for. For most of you, forgiveness is not a big deal. It's just the time period, especially if you qualify for the Employee Retention Tax Credit, especially if you got 2 PPPs. There's some optimization of the time period, but that's a separate thing. You saw me. Really, one of the best situations, and I think Adele was asleep, one of the best situations, Kitty, that I've been involved in, and that I still laugh at. I'm allowed in Iowa every 20 years, okay? And I've had back when I did pharmacy medical systems, I had a client in Iowa, and that was my first trip to Iowa in the 90s, okay, when I consulted the pharmacy and medical equipment dealers and medical equipment suppliers. And I swear those people had me on candid camera because they drove me. I was in Burlington, Iowa, in the middle of nowhere. The plane, I swear, landed in the middle of a cornfield. And I'm like, my client picked me up, and I'm like, oh, I need to stop by an ATM because I didn't have any time to get money. And they picked on me. They're like, an ATM, what? I'm like, a money machine, a back machine. I got to get some cash. Machines that got money? You Yankees are so funny. And I swear they drove around that town in Iowa so that I would not see any place that you could get an ATM. And that was back in the early 90s. And when NART's conference was in Iowa, I don't know if Adele knows this story. She knows everything, so she probably does know this story. I was with a group at the bar. Uh, yes, we will dance again, but in Iowa. So this is a good story. In Iowa, when Narts was in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, I was with a group of people in the bar, and we were not drunk. Okay, we had something to drink, but there's no ifs, ands, or buts that we were drunk. We were not drunk. Okay, and I was being Neil. Okay, I was just being me. Okay, and I was making my point. Okay, and it was the stores were like talking about how they make things, move stuff around so that it's super cheap and everything else. And I'm like, you take the labor, and I was very vivid with my example, and I'm moving over here, and I'm taking the napkin, and I'm okay. So this is your item over here, and everything else. And then a church group came to check into the hotel. So the hotel was in right off the lobby. And this church group came in to check in, and they thought we were all drunk because I was making this example at the time they walked in, and we were a little loud, but we were the only ones there. And so, because of the church group, in honor of the church group, they closed down the bar. They closed off the bar because they thought we must have had too much to drink. And we barely, I don't even think we had one cocktail. We were still on our first cocktail. Nobody was drunk. But then in true Iowa hospitality, okay, so they shut the bar down to make the church group happy and to get rid of what they viewed as public drunkenness in the hotel in Iowa, which was an absolutely phenomenal hotel. I love that hotel. I love the story behind that hotel, which was run by a college. It was great. But then in true Iowa hospitality, they took our small group. They're like, well, we'll take you to a bar in town. So the hotel drove us and picked us up from this bar in town so we could continue our conversation. That's one of my favorite Narts bar story. I mean, I have many, but out of things, that's a favorite Narts bar story. I jumped on table during conference. Oh, there's all these, these internet rumors of tables Neil has jumped on or things Neil has done. It's just Neil. I am who I am. I am who I am. I always say, in person, whatever. This is who I am. This is who you guys got. This is who you got. Love me or hate me, this is who you got. Ladies and gentlemen, I figured you heard about that, Adele. I just didn't know whether you heard the whole story where the hotel then took us. They're like, we'll drive you someplace. I'm like, we'll take you wherever. And they took us someplace. And the funny thing was, they took us they're like, we got this really great place that will take you. And they took us to this biker bar, is where they took us and everything. It was a great night. We had a good time there. It was an amazing conference. Seminar. Ladies and gentlemen, you know what else is amazing? You know what else is amazing? This video and everything I talk about, all the links, all of the stories, they're all true. All the links, all the stories, go over to narts.org/resale strong by noon the next day. All of them, all the links, all the files, including a direct link to the YouTube channel. You're not alone running this store, where you can like, comment, subscribe, and oh yes, you can ring the bell. Ring that bell so you know when a new video drops. Oh, we will meet again, Rose. I promise you that. I do. I promise you every night we will. You can also share that with everybody you know in business. The butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker. We are going to help everybody make it to the finish line. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I'm here, ladies and gentlemen, every night at More 8 Than Ish. More 8 Than Ish live in the Nards private Facebook group. But if you have a question in between, you just email me, Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com, Neil at ECIstores.com. That's also where you can send me a recipe, your favorite recipe, for the Resale Strong cookbook that we have for every self-care Sunday. I always need a recipe every Saturday, so send me those recipes to Neil, Neil at ECIstores.com. We start this program every night with the Good Morning, Good Night book. Our good morning today is good morning. I'm engaging in a complicated handshake that hurts us both. Ow, worth it. Go get him. Our good night tonight is good night. Engaging again in a complicated handshake. I'm not really good at complicated handshakes. Oops, put ice on that. Get some rest. There's your handshakes, people. Try that one out. Oh, I'm glad you all had a good laugh tonight. Serious stuff, too. We covered some serious stuff here. Don't forget that call to action. Help our friends at the National Retail Federation. Help tell Jerome Powell what to do. Tell him what to do. Boom. Tell him. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Neil Abramson. I do like a good party, a wedding, a bar mitzvah. We will party again. We will party in person. And when we do, I'm going to be there with you. But until then, and until tomorrow night at More 8 Than Ish, know that you, and you, but most importantly you, yes you, you're not alone running this store. It's time for dessert, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.